And crew this week, Wayne Rogers, Jonathan Hoenig, Jonas Max Ferris, along with Tracy Burns and John Layfield. Also joining us, our good friend Christian Dorsey, the director of the Economic Policy Institute. Welcome to all of you. Great to be back together, folks. Okay, John, giving workers flexible schedules, is this, you think, good or bad for jobs and then for the economy?
This does absolutely zero for jobs. Look, this is something that was created by a bunch of naive ideologues who on Capitol Hill have never had to run a business. Therefore, they don't understand that the flexible work schedule has been in existence since the first caveman hired the next caveman. It has always been there. What we need right now is simply a work schedule. Look, the jobs number was decent, but you don't want to mess with the most productive workforce in the world, but when all they want is to go to work, period. Look, you have 1 out of 6 Americans right now work for state or federal governments. You have 1 out of 5 males aged 20 to 54 that are unemployed. We don't need to wear flowers and sing Beatles songs and have a kumbaya moment. We need jobs, and this is another waste of government money.
Christian, he is making a great point about the productivity that we have in this country. We are one of the most productive economies in the world. Why mess with that right now?
Well, because we want to be even more productive. And, you know, we have a workforce that's built on an idea that's from the 1940s, where you have a man going to work and a woman managing the home. Now we have women who make up half of the workforce. Many families are two-earner families. You also have single parents. They have real home responsibilities that get neglected. And when they can't take care of home, they're really not fully present when they're at work. So if you promote flexible schedules, you make employees happy, you make them more productive, and that's better for the bottom line of American businesses. This is a great thing for America.
This could be, though, a double-edged sword, Wayne, because I was looking at a survey of HR professionals. 91% say, and Christian is saying this as well, it's good for morale, but is it good for business?
I don't think that I think you have to divide it up, because certainly piecework can be very profitable under certain circumstances. In other words, if you have a flexible schedule, you say to somebody, take for example in the garment industry, where you say to the woman, here, take this garment home, work on the garment, you bring the garment back, you pay her on the basis of what the work has been done, not on an hourly basis. So you have to distinguish that. I don't think you can put hourly people on some kind of a flexible schedule. That you cannot do.
You know what, Tracy? I mean, I was looking at a quote from the president of the National Treasury Employees Union, so government workers, and she was saying and telling the Washington Post that really the government doesn't have a good record when it comes to flexible work situations. So why do we need to listen to the government? If we're in private business, why not just let private business do what they need to do?
The government doesn't have a good record when it comes to just about anything these days, Cheryl. And the last thing we need the government doing is telling us how to run our businesses. I am all about flexible schedules. I think it's genius if it works for the business. It is a business-by-business decision. They need to make it in their own little private corporate suite. The government does not need to be making these decisions.
Jonas, again, I go back to the issue of morale. I mean, everyone says it's great for morale, but at the end of the day, we do have a very productive workforce in this country, and this could be bad for the economy down the line.
I wanted to do this show from home from a webcam, but because the government doesn't mandate that, you guys wouldn't let me do it. Well, to get to the point, which is, I mean, why would the government know how to get more work out of a worker than a company? I don't understand how they could want. I mean, a company wants to make you work harder. If they could figure out a way to get you to work 2 hours more and not commute, they would do it. I don't know what the government's role is, other than possibly, you know, rolling out internet to more locations. But if anything, the government subsidizes commuting to work with public transportation, so they're counter what they're trying to do. And I will say most government workplaces, schools included, are the most old-fashioned, least modern, least product.
Yeah, you know,
because the way they run their employees.
No, Jonas, your point is right on, and the government knows, of course, because the president is an expert in everything. I mean, every day you turn on the television and reopen the newspaper, one day it's banking, the next day it's the environment, and then it's education, and now it's human resources. I mean, with all due respect to the president, Jonas, you're right. Businesses are very good about promoting efficiency, productivity. Telecommuting is up like 75% in the last 5 years alone. So yes, businesses are very effective at using privately created technology, I might mention, to be very effective to the bottom line and to jobs.
And you know what, Christian, he's making a good point that really a lot of businesses are already doing this. So why should we put more money into a government program when you've already got deficits going crazy to promote flexible work when it's already happening?
Well, look, businesses are doing it. They're finding that it's successful. So what's wrong with the federal government providing a boost so that more businesses take advantage of what other businesses have come to know is true?
The cost, Christian, that is what's
Christian,
wrong, and what that could do to the
What-
economy.
what-
We're already,
what
we're
is
already
the
in
cost?
debt.
What is the cost?
Christian, though,
Tell me
look at all
something.
the-
If we can come up with a
Christian-
way to make American companies more productive, those costs are more than made up with higher productivity and
But do you
economic
see,
growth.
Christian,
You all know that this is a
you've
good
got
thing.
to see how this has failed miserably in the past. You've got to see. We spend all this stimulus money on these supposed shovel-ready projects. We get a whopping 17,000 construction jobs out of it. Those are very expensive construction jobs. And you know what? It's not working. The money and the spending has got to stop.
Yeah, but the point is,
Tracy-
look, Christian, look, why don't we spend $1 billion on the feasibility and the development of the wheel? That's already been done too. People are already doing this, Christian. You've got 1 out of 6 people, 17 to 18% of people in the country right now are unemployed or underemployed. We need jobs. We don't need more government intrusion. We don't need to mess with the most productive labor force in the world. We need jobs. Quit wasting our money.
This is not a
one
waste
thought
of
is the
money. This is a good way to give us the economy of the 21st century.
Let's
I can't
study the
believe you
wheel.
all are against this.
But Christian, why doesn't the president perhaps focus on something that he can control, like, for example, streamlining the arbitrary and very intrusive laws that make working from home such a red flag when the IRS comes along ready to audit? That's a major problem for small businesses, for individual corporations,
Guys,
is that working at home is such an IRS nightmare.
I want to ask Wayne real quick. Wayne, would you do this for your employees? I mean, would this work for you?
We do it sometimes. Yes, I said there are certain jobs that are specific jobs that can be done better from home. If you give somebody, if you're not paying an hourly wage and you're paying somebody based on what they accomplish. In other words, I'm saying I'm going to take this pen right here. I'm going to take that home or the things, and I'm going to make that thing and bring it back, and I get paid on each number of the pens that I make, as opposed to being paid on an hourly basis. That's a very productive way to do it.
And
I don't care where you do it if you do it that way. On the other hand, you cannot do that with hourly
And I bet
wages.
it's a great pen, and I would definitely buy one.